Welcome, everybody. Meghan, Ottolini, Justin Turpin of WEEI coming to you from TD Garden following a 111-101 victory from the Celtics over the LA Lakers. I think for me, I'm just going to start here. The lesson with this game is just because you are the hottest team in the league doesn't mean you're the best team. We saw who the best team, at least until next Wednesday when the Celtics host OKC. We saw who the best team in the league is, and it's the Celtics. The Lakers came in on an 8-game winning streak. They had the best defensive rating during that time, but the Celtics take this one, Terp.
Yeah, and even LeBron James said it after the game. We're just not there yet. And this team's been playing basketball for a long time. They've built a level of chemistry, and it was on full display tonight. And I really liked Joe Mazzulla after the game saying, sometimes we need Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown to be great. And that's what they were tonight. They combined for 34, scored or assisted on 34 of the Celtics' 40 makes. That's 85%. And they just completely dominated the game all night.
It's kind of funny because when we were watching this game in the very early phases, like we should have taken the lesson that we all learned during the Cavs game. Feels like 3 weeks ago, but not so many games ago here at TD Garden, where we watched the Lakers get off to kind of a hot start. And they came out of the gate very strong, and we were watching this going, okay, Jaylen Brown looks ready to go, but they had those 2 turnovers in the first 4 possessions, the Celtics did. And it was like, are they going to be up for this game?
Yeah.
It's an 8:30 p.m. game on Saturday night. Is this moment feeling a little too big for them right now with Luka Doncic finally coming here after the trade? And no, like by the time the first half was a fun, tight, back and forth battle. But once they got into the third, it was all Celtics. I will say one of my favorite stats that I found kind of bizarre was just how much the Lakers outshot the Celtics in terms of attempting shots in the third quarter, and then the Celtics ended up outscoring them. I want to say it was 29-13 in the third quarter, and the Celtics attempted just 19 shots to the Lakers 23. So it was kind of this weird inverse, and I think that's really you can really attribute that to the way that they locked down the defense throughout that game, but especially in that quarter.
I mean, what they did defensively in the third quarter was incredible. I mean, Los Angeles had more turnovers than they had made baskets, 6-5. And for that offense with LeBron James and Luka Doncic to slow them down the way they did, especially how they were playing in the first half. Like in the first half, they were humming offensively. They were knocking down threes, and they really stabilized. They only finished 14 of 40 from 3, 35%. That's not great. You live with that every day if you're the Celtics. But I really liked what they did defensively really throughout the night. And they kept trying to go at Al Horford. They kept trying to go with Sam Hauser. They kept trying to go with Peyton Pritchard. And every single one of them met them and responded.
Can we talk about them trying to target Al Horford?
What are we doing?
The disrespect. Okay, again, we get it. Al Horford, we've been doing this for years now. Al Horford's 36 years old. Al Horford's 37 years old. Al Horford's 38 years old. How does he keep himself in this condition? The way that he was tonight, like he was just locking down Luka. There were back-to-back possessions in the first half where he basically picked Luka's pocket, and Luka was getting stripped a couple times in that first half. What an evening for Al.
And every time they try to target Al, they were settling for these mid-range jumpers. And if you're the Celtics, you're going to live with that all day long. And most of them weren't even going in. And it's funny because they're targeting Al Horford after they saw what he did defensively on Sunday, less than a week ago, with Nikola Jokic. It's just all these big-time opponents, still Al Horford is raising his level. He's in the top 75 games played all time in the NBA. And this guy still unlocks another level when the Celtics need him most. Obviously, Kristaps Porzingis, a lot of people thought he was going to be back tonight. He was out warming up before the game, was scratched with the illness, and then Al just seamlessly slides into the starting lineup, and it's just so impactful. And it happens all the time. And I think it's taken for granted because he probably has the toughest role when everyone's healthy because he's been the starter his whole career, and then he goes off the bench, and that's just NBA players are creatures of habit. That's not easy what he does. And for him to just, whenever his number's called, no matter what the role is, he always matches it, and he always is there for them. And it's such a luxury for this team.
Absolutely. And I do think that the rest of the team deserves that credit for the defensive effort that they put forward. And Joe Mazzulla said that post-game that it really starts with the best players setting the example, setting the tone of how they're going to attack these guys defensively. And so Jaylen Brown is another, as I said before, was picking pockets, was all over the floor. Just an awesome effort. We had LeBron James leave with 5 minutes left. At that point, it was a 19-point game. Luka Doncic did was able to lead this last hurrah effort to get it within 4. If you saw a finals between these two teams, how would you feel about that from an enthusiasm standpoint and the actual competitive factor of these two teams?
I think that's what everyone wants. And
Yes,
Jayson Tatum
thank
at his
you.
press conference even said the league is better when the
Yeah.
Celtics and the Lakers, that rivalry is good, and them two teams are good. I mean, if we get this finals, please give me 7 games. I probably wouldn't go 7, to be honest, just like if this was to be a series, but give me at least 4 games of this come June. I mean, this is what everyone wants, and this is kind of it for LeBron. Like, this is his last push, and they go out and get a superstar with Luka, and now you hope that his injury is not something that sidelines for a while. He said after the game that he was day-to-day. We'll see what actually happens with that, because JJ Redick was like, yeah, we're kind of concerned about it, but we'll wait and see. So hopefully he's all good. And I mean, this is what everyone wants, is this. And the atmosphere today was just absolutely electric. And
so fun.
All the players were talking about it after the game. Like, this felt like a finals game. And you really haven't had a regular season. This is my 3rd year covering the team, and I haven't really had a regular season atmosphere like this.
There were some, I would say there were some games back in the kind of peak of the Warriors era, even with those IP teams with the Celtics, where you got a little bit of this in the regular season, but you didn't always have the postseason expectations that the Celtics team has. And I also think that we got kind of a rare instance from Joe Mazzulla where he acknowledged the importance of this game, and it was reflected in the playing time that these guys had. You had Jayson Tatum, who played over 45 minutes. You had Jaylen Brown, who extended himself over 41 minutes.
37 for Al.
You know, there's an amount of respect
about
this rivalry. And so I think everybody would agree, if we could see this in the finals, it'd be great for the league. It'd be great for both teams. It would be great for us.
It was funny, too.
Fingers crossed.
It was funny, too, after the game when Jaylen was asked, like, did you think, like, Joe was just kind of bluffing a little bit? Like, this was a bigger game. He was like, yeah, it's his job to kind of downplay it. But, yes, of course, this meant more to him. And it's funny because they're showing these like videos on the Jumbotron before the game, right before tip-off. They're showing all these highlights from the rivalry. And none of them were really new, right? There's nothing new from the new players, the new faces, because there really hasn't really been one
15 years
recently, right? So I think this is what the league wants. This is what everyone wants. So please give us this in June.
Please, please, please. But we do have another great showdown coming up on Wednesday night. As I mentioned before, OKC will be here. And so we'll be here. We'll have post-game content for you. Check us out on weei.com. Of course, find us on YouTube, find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram, all WEEI channels. It's Jayson Turpin, it's Meghan Ottolini again, and we will see you guys on Wednesday.